Hello, and welcome to Ask Dr. B. Today I'm going to talk about bullying among kids who are in that preteen space. So 11, 12, 10, 13. This is an ongoing conversation that I've been having that was stimulated by a question from a viewer from the UK who asked about helping parents recognize the signs of bullying and then how to talk to their kids about that and how to be of help to them. And kids respond differently, and there are some different specifics that I want parents to be mindful of or aware of as we think about kids of different ages. So today, this is a little bit more in depth about our kids in that preteen space. Sadly, there is a lot of bullying that goes on that always has in this age range, this developmental space. And there are a lot of reasons that those of us who are in this field and work with kids and their families, that, kids are emerging in a way and to be able to think about themselves and think about others in a new way as they head into those teen years and to adolescence. There's a lot of anxiety as we head into adolescence. Our bodies are changing, our minds are changing, our faces are breaking out, we're having feelings we've never had before. We desperately want to be part of the tribe. We're afraid of being outside that group, and so the circumstances are ripe for kids to mistreat each other. And it happens. And as I said, it is, I think, always happened. And that doesn't mean that we should tolerate it as parents, that we should just ignore it, that we should think that it doesn't matter. It does. It can be very painful. What's changed is that when I was growing up, there was, bullying happened, but it only happened in my little space that I could see. Meaning, if it happened to me in that classroom or on the playground or on the phone, that I felt it, and maybe I, suffered in that environment. But today, because of social media, there is so much more coming at our kids that feels, painful and horrible, and they can be excluded and mistreated in a way that's so much more painful and difficult and abusive. And so it has potentially more damage. And we hear of stories, horrific stories of children being bullied who take their own lives. And so it is a very serious situation, and one that we should be very mindful of as adults in these young people's lives. So how might you see it in a preteen? Similar to what I mentioned in prior videos about the signs, change in overall functioning. But unfortunately, kids going into their teen years and all throughout their teen years, the hormones that kick in can also affect how kids are functioning in some ways. But these other ways, like, not being able to sleep and not being able to eat, tearfulness, anxiety, that may be transient. It may happen during this stage, not related to bullying. But if you see those patterns emerging and it's ongoing, with kids withdrawing from their friend group, kids showing signs that they really are struggling with their self-esteem, and maybe they are behaving in a way that suggests that they're isolated, they're not engaged, they're not spending time with friends, they're not being invited to things, they're acting out in ways, either aggressively, they might, for example, engage in behavior that they never engaged in before, shoplifting or other things that the misuse or abuse of substances, medications maybe that they're taking, that they shouldn't be taking, or you find out that they've been using alcohol or smoking pot. These are all indications that something is going on and we need to get to the bottom of it. I talked in the prior video about how to, open the door with our younger children. And again, here, this may be a new skill. And so you may need to work at it. And you always want to lead with, I care about you. I love you. Here's what I'm seeing. If they get mad at you or, lash out at you, it's important to set the boundaries and the limits. That's not okay. You understand they're mad. You really want to understand what they're mad about. You really want to listen, but it's not okay to mistreat you, and come back to it. Try again. You may need to try to get additional information. If you have trusted friends of, your parental friends that are the parents of their friends, is anything going on in the friend group that you can learn from them and get some additional info. So with this group, it's really important that you not jump to take matters into your own hands, meaning you think they're being bullied, and so you reach out to the school, the friend group, etc., without letting them know you're doing that. They may not want you to do that, and depending on the severity, you may decide to do it anyway, but make sure that they're aware that it's happening so that they're not caught off guard and you don't inadvertently make the situation worse. Obviously, the most dire circumstances, it may mean that the young person has to be removed from a situation that is toxic or dangerous at this age. Hopefully that will not be the case, and you can get support. You can get the school engaged. You can bring in a counselor, develop a team. It should be your child, you, your partner, counselor, the school, to work together to come up with a solution that works for your child. You may need to limit access to social media, and I understand that may not go over well, but if the bullying is happening in cyberspace, then taking that off the table, at least for a while you assess and determine and develop a plan, that's okay. You may need to restrict that. And, kids get restricted for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes it is to take care of them. It is to protect them. Again, as we're developing a plan, as we're looking for solutions, backing up, when you begin this conversation with your preteen in that age range we're talking about, please feel free, if you can, share experiences of your own that affected you. That might help them open up to you. If there are others in your family system that they may be more open to, maybe an older sibling, then absolutely engage that person. The goal here is to protect your child, to find out what is going on, to make sure that they have resources and support, and that you can help them make good decisions, not bad, in the face of being mistreated. Help them understand that this will pass. There will come a time where they are no longer feeling the way they're feeling now, and that's what you're there to help them with. That you will work with them to find a solution to whatever this is about, the bullying. I hope this is helpful. I'm including some resources in the description of this video. Please keep sending in your questions. Talk to your kids. Show them how to share by sharing your own feelings about how they're doing. And it's okay to share things that have happened to you or things that happened to you in your life. Just keep it developmentally appropriate. I look forward to hearing more questions. And thank you so much for working with your kids and with people in your life. Together, we can learn how, and we can continue to be well.